Good morning. This is Mark Freckleton with One Mentor. I'm here to wrap things up for you with the first session. I hope what you heard so far has been valuable to you and interesting, and will give you a head start in getting things moving forward with your Wake Up Now membership. And of course, since you joined Wake Up Now, you obviously want to make the most of it. Well, we're here to help you do that. That's why One Mentor exists. That's why we developed it, and furthermore, that's why we developed the challenge team to help you further your business. Now, if you have any questions, if you just please post them there at the bottom of the screen, and I will answer your questions as you bring them up. But I have a couple of things I want to tell you to wrap things up here for today anyway. First of all, the one other thing. If you cannot hear me, please let me know. I'm going to type that in. Uh, because, obviously with technology, something could happen. Okay, so, okay, what do I want to tell you here is that, first of all, as you're aware, you have 4 sessions with the mentoring. It's part of the Success Academy. One Mentor is a portion of the Success Academy. When you finish up with this, with the 4 sessions with One Mentor, then the Success Academy will make available for you what we call Wolf Mentality Training. That's based on a book that was written by the former CEO and the president of Wake Up Now. That'd be Kirby Cochran and Jason Elrod, and it will be more like a graduate program for you. Let's say when you finish with the One Mentor, you've got your high school diploma. When you finish with the Wolf Mentality, you'll now have your bachelor's degree, and from then on, you will keep advancing through Don Speeney's 60 seconds to no or to yes training, which would give you a graduate degree. We're here to help you. Now, there's one other thing I want to mention to you too, and I'm going to write this down just so that you remember it. The Wake Up Now blog is to be found on the hub. It's prominent there. You just find, just go to resources and open that, and then find blog at the top. Now, this is where you're going to get your announcements. This is where you're going to get some training materials too. But if things change, like recently they made a change in the compensation plan to make it easier for you to fill out your legs with your own retail activities, which gives you a little bit more control over that if that's something that applies to you. Okay, well, that was announced on the blog. They'll also announce upcoming conferences. And this is in addition to the emails you get. You may or may not get emails reminding you of things on the blog. So you want to check the blog yourself probably a couple times a week just to see if there's anything new or anything new that applies. Now, sometimes they'll have things like for Halloween, they had a scary picture contest. Well, okay, that doesn't necessarily further your Wake Up Now membership, but it's fun. But you want to check that out occasionally, the blog, to see what's going on. Now, one last thing I want to impart with you, if you don't have any questions, and that has to do with the attitude you should take now as you move through the course and as you move through the process of being an IBO with Wake Up Now. I'll call it the attitude of success. You know how, I believe it's Henry Ford said that whether you believe that you can or you believe that you cannot, you're right. In other words, if you go into this thinking I can't do this, then you won't do it. You won't put out the effort and the energy to make it happen. Whereas if you do, then, well, the sky's the limit. And furthermore, let me say this, that if you if you do the little things, if you do the tasks. Now, at the end of our session here, you'll receive an email that will invite you to register or to select a time for session number 2. And you'll want to do that as soon as you're comfortable doing that. There's no time lag required. You don't have to wait a certain amount of time. We encourage you to do at least one a week, but if you want, I've got a couple of people that are bound to determine to finish it within this week. Now, if they're with session 4 this evening, then they've done it. They did all 4 sessions in a week. That's up to you. But what you want to do with that email you'll get with your schedule for session 2, there will be a link that will open up the action tasks that you saw at the end of Phil's presentation. So you have them in writing, helps you to remember them. Those are the little things that if you do that, we've calculated them to be something you can easily do. I mean, to make them simple enough. When I say easy, well, let me put it this way. For you to take advantage of all the benefits of Wake Up Now and to build a business using Wake Up Now, I'm not going to call that easy because it will take effort, but it's simple. And we'll make it simple with those action tasks. You just do those, and then you do the next set of action tasks, and you keep progressing through the things that we suggest you do, and you'll be successful. Now, David just asked an excellent question. And David, by the way, could you give me your last name? Because David's a pretty common name, and I don't know which David this is just from that. And I got to sort of take roll here and see who's here. That'd go for Josh, too. If the 2 of you could type in your last names here. But anyway, with the polo shirts, you just go to the hub, the Wake Up Now hub, and you go to the, it's called shopping at the top of the hub, and then open up WUN Swag. And you'll find them there. You'll find them in various colors. At least, well, with the polo shirts. Wait a minute. You know what? I don't see them here on the swag. They got to put everything up here, not just certain things. I got some pretty ugly T-shirts here, but they got a nice hoodie. But you want polo shirts, and I know they're available. In fact, if you came into the office in Provo, Utah, you could go into the retail store next to the reception area and pick them off the rack or off the shelf. I'll tell you what. Okay. Now, David, this is why it's all the more urgent that you let me know who you are, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to find out for you. Okay. Mugwerwa. Okay, I'm going to find out for you, David, and I'm going to send you instructions on who you can call because I think it's good for you to be able to get what you want, and with the swag, you can even refer that to other people. You don't get PV for it. It's not like the select products, but it's still good for you. And of course, keep in mind that once you finish the mentoring, I think we're still doing this, that you're good for 2 for 1 on any of the swag up to, is it $200 or $300? You know better than I do because you just watched the presentation. Okay, so David, I will send you an email letting you know. And of course, then I know that they've got multiple colors. I know they have at least black and white, and they might have blue as well. I just got to find out where they are. Okay, now Chris is asking, when are we going to have a la carte? Well, a la carte exists already. You just, when you go to the hub again, you, at the top there, you click on shopping, and then you open up packages. And under packages, you're going to see that they have packages like the gold pack and the explorer pack and the platinum pack. But then they have a la carte. They have WUN Finance, they have TaxBot, and they have, of course, WUN Mentor is showing there as well. Well, now with that finance and TaxBot, they're already available a la carte. Now, if you're thinking of just making that available to one of your contacts, one of your recruits, that's good in and of itself because every little bit helps. But the $9.95 that someone's going to pay for TaxBot through you is really not going to have much of an impact on you. Do you see why? It gives you a volume of 3. Okay, so you're getting volume for that. And if you sold 30 TaxBot packages a month, then you're qualified just from that. But that's about all it's going to do for you. So a la carte's available. But let me tell you, from my point of view, and I'll tell you this from the challenge team's point of view as well, you're always better off signing people up. Oh, Vacation Club's available a la carte too, $90. But you're always better signing people up with the Explore Pack. It gives you more volume, and it benefits them because they get access to every single product available from Wake Up Now automatically. They don't have to upgrade or buy a la carte in order to get it. It does cost more than the Platinum package, but if you'll go to the packages under shopping and just do a comparison there, as you open up each one, it lists the various products you get with the Vacation or the Explore Pack, the Platinum package, and the Gold pack. Okay, well, okay, that's nice. You get a whole lot more with the Explore Pack, and that, in my mind, makes it worth the money right there. But here's another reason why you yourself want to be Gold. Excuse me, Explore Pack. It's well, 2 reasons. One is credibility. Like I say, as you refer people to the Explore to the challenge team, today's been a rough day. I'm not thinking well. My synapses are not working, so forgive me if I say things wrong. But as you refer people to the challenge team, their intention is to sign them up for Explore Pack because that benefits you the most, right? So what you want to do is encourage people that when they do sign up, that's the level they should go into. But imagine now, if you're encouraging one of your recruits to go in as an Explore Pack member, and they say, well, what are you? And you say, well, I'm Platinum. Can you see that they'd be entitled to question why they should go in as Explore Pack when you're only Platinum, right? So it's a credibility thing, but there's another reason to do it too. If you want to have a successful business, you got to be committed to it. Remember, I said it's not easy. It takes effort. It takes focus. It's not impossible. It's not even all that complicated. It's very simple. But one of the simple things you do is you make a solid commitment. I am committed to this. Now, when I talk about commitment, I like to use the analogy of breakfast. See, when you have a breakfast of bacon and eggs, the hen is pretty heavily involved in that, right? But that pig is totally committed. And so you want to be committed to Wake Up Now because it's going to benefit you in the long run. Your commitment will pay off in the income you get down the road. Okay, so that's just my thoughts on Explore Pack versus Platinum. Okay, now David, you're asking after we're finished with the 4 sessions, it's 2 for 1 for the WUN swag. That's my understanding, unless they changed it and didn't tell me, which would not be impossible. But if, and it seems to me that that Phil mentioned that in his presentation as one of the benefits. Unfortunately, he's in Houston today in an event, so I can't ask him directly. I guess I could call him. And so if it says that, if it said that in your orientation, remember when you got that orientation email, then that's canonized, it's doctrine, okay? You get 2 for 1. Now, there is a dollar limit, and I, off the top of my head, because I'm not thinking well today, you know, synapses are not firing. I can't remember if it's 200 or 300 as a dollar limit, but you can get 2 for 1 up to that limit. Well, that would be obviously a sweet way to buy the polo shirts for your presentations, right? But like I said, I'm going to get back to you on who to talk to about getting the polo shirts, because I did not find them on the hub, but I know they exist. I could walk over to the retail store next to reception and pick one up right away very easily. So I know they're there. They exist. They don't show the baseball shirts. And I just bought myself a baseball shirt 2 weeks ago. The black sleeves and the white center with the Wake Up Now logo that looks like it's wearing off. Okay. That's not on this page either. So we got to find out. I'll let you know. Okay. But anything that is under WUN Select also gives you PV, and anything that is in those packages gives you PV, but the swag does not. Okay. Oh, there's a subcategory under swag. Maybe that's what's wrong. Okay. I click on apparel. Let's see what comes up. There is a black polo, but I know they have white polos. Okay, so and the hoodie and a blue t-shirt. So yeah, they don't have everything up here, and sometimes it's as available. That's why I want you to get. I want to get someone to call you, or have you call someone that actually knows the whole thing, so that you get official and plus, like I say, sometimes things are more or less available. If you're talking to the right person, maybe you could get a special deal and get stuff that might not be readily available. You know what I mean? I want to help you with that, so I'll let you know. Okay, let me just, in fact, I started going this direction and then I got distracted. Let me just wrap up here with a couple of thoughts. Like I say, it won't be easy, but nothing that's truly rewarding is ever easy. It always takes effort. What you want to do, though, is put in the effort, and then it's simple, and your attitude has a lot to do with that. Remember I said, if you think you can or you think you cannot, you're probably right. I want you to know, though, there is something pulling for you that's far beyond what I can give you. We'll give you the knowledge. I mean, that's what WUN Mentor is all about, but there's more working in your favor. It's a natural law of the universe. It's the way the universe functions. It's called the law of cause and effect, which means when you do something, you're going to get a result. Now, do you like the result? Well, not always, but you can decide if it's a good result or not. And if you don't like the causes from your effect, or excuse me, if you don't like the effects of your causes, so if you don't like what you're causing to happen for yourself, then you make a course adjustment as needed. You know that complaining about it's not going to work, is it? That's a very popular activity. That's what most people do. And that's why we talk about the 1% and why we talk about the 5% and the 20%. The 20% comes from the Pareto principle, and that's been around for 100 years. An Italian economist, Wilfredo Pareto, came up with this. And the way I use it is that 80% of what gets done is done by 20% of those doing it. And the other 80% of people are just coasting. Well, you don't want to be in the 80%, because the 80% sit around and complain about things, and they feel deprived and they feel a lack in their lives. And the 20% are taking charge of things and they're creating their own good causes. You want to be in the 20%. And then advance up to the 5%, because you can see that 5% of everything gets done is done by, 95% of everything gets done is done by 5% of the people, and 5% of the wealth is owned by 95% of the people. Okay, that's cause and effect. Now, here's a little saying I like that goes along with that. Everything works, but nothing doesn't. Think of that. Everything you do, like I say, it gives you a result of some kind, good, bad, or indifferent. And if and it's a result that you can analyze and measure to see if it's taking you in the right direction, or whether you maybe need a course adjustment. But consider this: what happens if you do nothing? Well, now if you do nothing, you're causing nothing to happen. Therefore, you are now subject to the cause and effect that's being created throughout the world that affects you, right? But those other people that are causing things to happen that affect you may or may not have your best interest in mind. And therefore, you're taking your chances as to what kind of effects you get from that. So the only way to really manage that and to control the kind of results you're getting in your life is for you to do the positive things. Now, here's a counterpart to that idea that everything works but nothing doesn't. You don't have to get it perfect. You just need to get it going. Now think of this, an airliner taking off from Los Angeles flying to New York. It's going to be off course 90% of the time on that trip, but the onboard computer maintains constant contact with a worldwide network of beacons. And that process nudges the airliner back on course whenever it strays to any degree. So it lands in New York Kennedy rather than LaGuardia or even Boston Logan or Washington, D.C. Dulles, right? And that's the way our lives are. I mean, we're human, and so we do have to keep nudging ourselves back on course. But don't think that you have to get it perfect to start with, because you won't. And I've mentored people for 17 years now, and I've talked to a lot of people who just cannot take the positive steps to do something until they have all their ducks in a row and all their I's dotted and their T's crossed. So it's like they're waiting for perfect conditions before they do anything. And I got to ask, how often do we run into perfect conditions in this world? Well, don't worry about perfect conditions. Just do what you can, look at the results, adjust where you need to, and do more. All right, so we're here to help you. One Mentor exists to tell you what you need to know, right? And what you need to know, we'll call that theory. And by the way, theory is a good thing. Theory, by definition, is systematically organized knowledge. Got to have the knowledge. It's a good idea if you know what you're doing, right? You got to have knowledge, but you want to have that knowledge in an organized fashion, and you want to apply that knowledge within a system. But keep this in mind. No matter how much you know, nothing's going to happen until you take action. That's the practical application of the theory, and that's the only way you're going to get anywhere here. That's why we're giving you action tasks, so make sure you look at them. And by the way, with the email you're going to get, there should be 2 little publications as links. That the one links you to a piece I put together about TaxBot, and the other is a piece that I put together about Vacation Club. You want to read those. It'll be a good reminder of what you already know, and I hope there's even some things in there you didn't know before, because both of those together is a super way to jumpstart your business here. Imagine this. First of all, everything you spend should be going into TaxBot, shouldn't it? What did you pay for this course? Was it $300? Is that in your TaxBot? Because that is a deduction. It's a legitimate tax deduction for business education. How about what you pay monthly in order to belong? That is a legitimate deduction for fees and licensing. You have to pay that to belong to Wake Up Now and to be able to do business as a Wake Up Now IBO. It's a requirement. You get to write it off. If you go to lunch with a coworker or a buddy, whatever you spend, as long as in the course of that lunch, you bring up the subject of Wake Up Now to some degree. If it's no more than saying, hey, you know, I've been working this Wake Up Now thing and it's working pretty well for me, and I expect to be making some good money off of it pretty quick. Oh, what do you think of the Bears game? I mean, okay, that's fine. That is now tax deductible because it's a business lunch. You see what I'm saying there? And if you pay for your friend, there's more to deduct. If you pay for your friend by getting a 2-for-1 restaurant coupon out of the WUN Local, hey, that's cool too. All right. Now, let's say that you go to Vacation Club, because that's another assignment you got here, to use Vacation Club. Let's say you go there and look in the hot weeks and you find yourself a resort that's reasonably close to home, like no more than an afternoon's drive to get there. Well, book it. And if they don't have anything in the hot weeks, because those are limited, you know, there's about 40, 45 at any time, you go to the 90 or the 60-day reservations, because they're like 1,600 of those all around the world, and you find one that works for you from either source. So you're paying anywhere from $300 to $500 for it. Oh, you might find one that's 120, but is it going to be close to home? I don't know. But you get something and you pay for it, and you immediately put that into TaxBot as a business promotional advertising expense, because you are now going to invite friends to come and stay with you at that resort. Now, I would limit them to 2 days a piece, because you want variety. You want to run a lot of people through, rotate them through. Besides that, as Mark Twain said, after 2 days, fish and guests start to stink. And so rotate them through. But you're going to have them come and stay with you. Now, if you're a couple, then you invite couples. And if you're single, you invite singles. And the 1-bedroom unit will accommodate 4 people, and the 2-bedroom unit will accommodate 6 people. So it all depends on the size of whatever it is you're buying or you're renting. But you're getting it at anywhere from 25 to 50% of the normal price. So it's affordable, and you invite the people to come. They come, you have lots of fun with them, because these resorts are always in fun areas. There's always activities you can do. You go out and do these activities with your friends. Maybe take them to dinner one night. Oh, by the way, besides the cost of the week being tax deductible, you got mileage to get there. And you're doing business, so that's business mileage, 56 cents a mile. Let's say it's 100 miles away. And so that's a 200-mile trip, round trip. Well, that's $113, $112 in tax deductions you get just for driving there. And then you take them out to dinner, and you write that off as a business dinner, because you are recruiting them, right? They don't know it, and you're not being overt about it. You're just letting them have fun, and then they got to ask themselves, how can he afford to do this? This is fabulous. How can he do this? And you tell them about Wake Up Now when they ask, right? And then you post all these pictures you're taking if you're having fun to your social media. Not just one album and hope that people find it. No, do it like during the course of the week. Post something every couple of hours. Take a picture, use your camera to post it, because you got the 4 things you can post that has your link attached to it. You got email. Oh, now that's social media. I mean, sure, it's been around since 1972, so it's no big deal. But you know what? The nice thing about email is that message stays in your recipient's inbox until they address it one way or another. Whereas with Facebook, if you posted your picture at 8 a.m., but your buddy or your Facebook friend, Ralph, doesn't get on his Facebook till 9 p.m., 13 hours later, and he's got 500 friends, so your message is so far down the list that he'll never find it. Instead, post something every hour or two. Different picture with a similar caption. Here we are with Ed and Lucille taking in the spectacular views from the hiking trail that is just right next to the resort we're staying at. Is a fabulous resort in a beautiful area, and it only costs us $314 through the Vacation Club with our Wake Up Now membership. Contact me if you would like to join us. There's your hook, right? When they contact you, then you say, well, you're first on my list for the next time I do this. But in the meantime, I need to talk to you about how I'm able to do this with Wake Up Now, and you get together with them, right? Okay, now that's good advertising. But everything about that trip, because you did it for business, is tax deductible. That's sweet. All right, so I think I've kept you long enough, and I got to get on another call here anyway, but I want to thank you for being here. And okay, Chris, you're asking me a question here that I don't know. This is the first I've heard of it, so let me check up on that. Now, the easy answer would be to call support, but like I say, this is the first I've heard of it, so let me double check on that. Like I say, in my mind, I'm not going to enroll anyone in my downline without encouraging them to be an Explore Pack. Well, now, David, the press releases are usually in the blog. That's where you're going to find them. That's where you need to look. Now, they might send out an email on occasion too, but like that change in the compensation plan with retail. I don't think that, I never saw it in an email, but it was on the blog. So David, make sure you check that blog every couple of days. But you know what? I'll contact both of you when I find out what's going on with that. I got to get back to you, David, anyway, about the swag, the polo shirts. Okay. No, on that replay of this first session, we'll just send that to you. Well, you'll get an email from the same people that sent you the registration form and the reminders for this session. That's notify at seminarreminders.net, I think it is. But you will get a recording of this session. It's good for 24 hours. So you want to jump right on it, that day or the next to watch it. But yeah, you can repeat it and actually watch it multiple times if you want. That'll come out automatically to you. Now, if you need it after the 24 hours have elapsed, then you want to contact Francesca. And I'm typing a message here so that you know how to get her. It's F. Parker at wakeupnow.net. Okay. And so she would send you a different link as soon as we get that figured out, because some things changed with the service. So she would send you that link upon request if it's later than the 24 hours, like next week or something. Okay. I mean, it's not like we're trying to keep it secret, but I'll be honest with you. There have been incidences of IBOs that have given people in their organization the advantages of WUN Mentor without those people paying for it, right? Well, if that happens too much, then there won't be enough revenue to keep WUN Mentor running. So we put a 24-hour cap on that so that IBOs are not just arbitrarily sharing it with people. You know what I mean? You'd think we wouldn't have to do that, but I guess that's the way of the world, isn't it? All right. So like I say, you'll get that. Like from Francesca, you're going to get the schedule for session 2 plus those other documents. If those 2 publications I mentioned about TaxBot and Vacation Club are not links in that email, notify me. Send me an email. I'm giving you my email as well. Mark Freckleston, mfreckleston at wakeupnow.com. This would be an email to send if you want to do the free one-on-one session you have coming to you. I would wait until after session 2 to initiate that, so you know what you really want to talk about, but that's available. So I got to let you go because it's supposed to be an hour and it's been an hour and 20. I was just too loquacious today. So thanks for participating, and wish you the best for a fantastic day. Take care. Goodbye.